everybody, my name is Benjamin Ott, and I'm going to teach you how to play Submerge Echo 51, the card game. It's been in development for the last few years. We finally got it available. So here's a how-to on how to get you started to play Submerge Echo 51, the card game. You got two different sides. You have the Krag side designated in red, then you have the Rebel side designated in blue. It is the Rebels' goal to drive the Krag Empire back out through the city from where they entered, and it is the Krag's job to drive the Rebels out of their mountain hideout. The Rebels hear about the oncoming onslaught from the Krag invasion, so the Rebels have a chance to defend first. The Krags will attack first. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by separating each side. These sides are already separated. We're going to ensure that the forest card is the starting location. There are a few victory conditions. A Krag will win if the city victory is obtained. A Rebel will win if a mountain victory is obtained. And if either player's deck runs out, they have no more forces to repel the Krags, and the Rebels have no more defenses. If either player's deck runs out, they're gonna lose. So be careful of what your deck count is. Each deck is going to have about 89 cards of resources, weapons, and events. So now we're going to start. So each player will draw 7 cards to start out. And once we do that, we will have that. Now, the field will kind of look like this. Of course, not with the blue background, but with your red battle cards. But you're going to have 3 battle units or battle cards in the front row. You're going to have a left flank, you're going to have a right flank, and then you're going to have 2 rear units. We're just going to take it back a step here, and when the other players' units reach the 2 back zones, then a victory is going to be obtained, and so that's how you will advance to the next location. But this is what the field will kind of look like. And while we're at it, once you play a card, you're going to draw a card. So you're always going to have 7 cards in your hand. So we will kind of look at what we got here and kind of show you what we got. So this is what my field would kind of look like as the Rebel player. And we're going to actually turn these around, so that way you can kind of see them. Then, once you have all your units that you want out, you have these blue cards, which are called modifications or mod cards. What's ever listed on the left side of the card here, it'll say target. So this unit can be placed on an air battle card, which we have 2. Sorry about that. Alright, so we have this unit. You can play it on any air card. So place it on there. And again, you play a card, you draw a card. Then we have this unit, which can be placed on any friendly ground squad or battery. And you can tell what that unit is because at the top it'll tell you what it is. So this is an anti-aircraft battery. This is a Rebel Soldier Battalion. This is a anti-tank company. So we can place it on any, we don't have any squads out, but we do have batteries. So we will go ahead and place that on that unit. And just to finish up, this can be placed on any ground battle card, which be anything that's not flying. So no planes. So let's go ahead and stick it right there. And just for the sake of simplicity, that will be our defense against the Krag Empire. And as stated before, as a Krag player, you have the ability to attack first. So we'll just kind of get our cards out here. So I'm just going to place these out here. So this will be what our starting field will look like. Now we will discuss the attack phase or battle steps. So let me see if I can try to get it here. We're just gonna discuss this as we go. So let's take our front line battle cards, and then we'll throw a couple of rebel battle cards here in the front. So now you determine what your targets want to be. For example, any unit, this unit can either attack the one right in front or run right to the side. This unit can attack all three. This unit can attack this one or this one. So if you want, you can declare your attack. We're going to have this attack, and just for the sake of simplicity, we're going to have this unit also attack. And then we'll just have this one attack that one. So now if you're attacking, you get 1 dice. If you're defending, you get 1 dice, unless you have a modification card, which are those blue cards that say roll an additional dice for attack or defense. So the attack dice will be a 6, and then the defense dice will be a 4. So in this case, my Icarus Flight Squadron successfully attacked this unit, and now he becomes exhausted. Next, we finish up with this unit. So again, the attack dice is going to be a 3. The defense dice is going to be a 3. So in the event of a tie, nothing happens. Now, let's say that my attack dice was a 5 and the defense dice was a 3. Then this unit would be knocked out, and then whatever unit dealt the finishing blow will then move up and take that spot. And that's how you eventually move up and take the 2 back cards. Now, so that is a very brief front row introduction. Now, let's say we had some units in our flank. So let's say this unit would be back here. Hopefully that's still good and you can see that. Maybe we'll just move this up so we can see. Alright, so now we're talking about flank units. So the flank unit, hold on just a second, So the flank unit can either move in and attack the opposing team's flank, or the flank unit can move up and attack this unit. Let me just make sure here.
Okay, we're looking pretty good here.
Alright, so, as stated, the flanks can either attack the two units on the side, or they can attack each other. Okay. Then, that kind of talks about flanks, and then we will talk briefly about back row units. So the back row units hold on just a second, get my cards mixed up here. Alright, so let's go ahead and throw this down here. Go ahead and remove the flanks for room's sake. So our back units can either move up if there's nothing there, or they can stay there. And a pro tip, you want to have a ranged unit in your back row, so that way you can leave them there and then ranged any unit back here. So if it's a ranged unit, it'll be able to attack anything that's on the board there. And again, like I said, whenever one side takes those spots, then you'll move to the next location. So that briefly talks about the attack phase. Now we will go into details about the cards and what they mean. So we have 3 different types of cards here. And first we'll start with the most important, are your battle cards, which again have a red border. They will say battle up in the top left to designate that they are battle cards. Next, going down the line, across the top of the card here, we'll move it to the next icon. This will tell you if it's a rebel card or a Krag card. Rebel cards have the star, and the Krags have the Krag symbol. Next, we have the card name. As briefly stated before, there's different kinds of battle cards. You have battalions, you have batteries, you have cards that aren't part of battalions or batteries or companies, such as this one, and the list goes on. Next, we will talk about these numbers on the left side of the card here. So each of these is a location, bonus, or penalty. So going from the top, it's got a mountain symbol to designate it's in the mountain region. Then we have the leaf, which is in the forest. Then we have a house-looking icon to designate the city. The top number is going to be bonuses or penalties to attack, and the bottom number is going to be bonus or penalty to defense. Depending on what location you get what's that's what you get. So for example, if we were in the forest, my unit would get +1 to attack and +2 to defense. Next, we will talk about what cards can target. For example, this one can target ground battle cards only, so it cannot shoot down planes or anything aerial. Next, we will talk about how it can attack. Up here, it says direct fire, meaning it will have to attempt to move up into a location or into a spot to attack. And then this one will say ranged, so it can only attack from a distance. And then there's a card called Dual Fire, which can either attack ranged or attack direct. Next, down at the text box, it'll say Krag Fire. So it gets a +1/-1 against battalions and companies. So if it's battling against a battalion or company, it's going to get the +1 to attack and -1 to defense. Next, we have what kind of card it is. Down at the bottom, under Domain, that's the kind of card it is. For example, this says Domain Ground. So this means this is a ground unit. Over here, it says Target. It can only attack ground units. Then you have Dual Fire and Ranged. Or, I'm sorry, you have Ground, Air, then you have Ground Air, which means you can attack anything that's flying or anything that's on the ground. And that's a brief overview of card explanation for battle cards. Next we will move on to modification cards. Modification cards are designated with a blue border. Then in the top left it'll say mod for modification. And then again it will also have the Krag symbol or the rebel symbol. Then we have the card name. Then we will have a target. So this can only be placed on a air battle card. For example, this unit is an air unit. I can then place this modification on that card. So now, not only does this battle card get its own effect, it will also get the effects of the leader that's placed on it or the modification that's placed on it. In this case, this leader gives a +2 to defense, and then it has a bonus effect called Intimidation. Attacking enemy air battle cards will automatically miss on a roll of 4 or less. So that means if the dice is 4 or less, then it's going to auto miss. So they have to roll a 5 or 6 plus modifications. So if they roll a 4 but have a +2 to attack, that gives them a 6, it won't matter because they rolled 4 or less. Then it'll tell you what kind of card it is. For example, this one is designated as a leader. Be careful though, because you only have a few leaders in your deck. And you can place as many modification cards on a single unit as you wish. But be careful, because if you boost up a unit and it gets destroyed, then you lose everything. And that is a brief discussion of modification cards. And finally, we will talk about the most powerful cards in your deck, are event cards, which are designated by a yellow border. They will be designated action card in the top left. They will have the name, then they will have the symbol for rebel or Krag. And on the right side of the card, it'll tell you what it can target. For example, this one targets all ground enemy battle cards. So this is going to affect all enemy ground battle cards. What the effect is, roll 2 attack dice and apply your roll to each target. For example, I roll a dice and I rolled 2 3s. So that's going to be a total of 6 against all ground units. So now each of your opponent's ground units have a chance to defend. If they roll less than a 6, if they roll less than a 6, then their units are going to be exhausted. If they're already exhausted, they're going to be knocked out. So that's a heavy hitter, very strong card. Under your event cards, they will also have some flavor text. For example, this one says, Satyrs make halo jumps on all targets. And to finish up, it is designated as an action card. Action cards can be played at any time during either player's turn when you so desire. And that briefly talks about action cards. So those are the 3 types of cards you have in your deck. We talked about attacking. We talked about battle cards. We talked about mods, events, how to attack. Hopefully that covered everything. If there's any questions, please feel free to go to www.dventertainmentpictures.com/submerge Echo 51 card game.html. This will bring you right straight to the rules. Additionally, on that website, there is a contact me, which you can email Demetrius, the writer and director of the Submerged series, and ask him your questions, and we will have a response emailed back to you either same day or the following day to clarify any rules that might bring up a question. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you guys are ready to get submerged.